Fresh. Hope you didn't break your nose. That's.
I don't think he's that strong. Be very impressive though.
It'd be very funny workplace
as
injury as well. It's like a face palmed, broke my nose.
It's our desk, I guess.
It doesn't smell because of COVID anymore. It's just because he broke his nose.
Fresh slaps himself in the face. Milosh, his age is showing he's forgetting who we are. Who knew Fabian was the glue holding that desk together? Holding their like mental state together.
It's kind of what he claims to do, right?
I mean, you know, Fabian's the glue.
Guide everybody in the right direction.
Okay. Hey, Chalet. Hey, Pwns. What's the story?
You know, sometimes it is time to go back to the drawing board. And I've done that a couple of times this season. So who knows? They might find success now. They might not find success now. It could be it could be detrimental to either side. Now, of course, there is still a major spot to be given away, and believe it or not, both teams can still make it. Pwns has a 0.02% chance.
Okay, yeah, I mean, both. You're not wrong.
No,
both
of course
teams
not. I wouldn't say lies on stream.
Can make it.
It's very unlikely for one, though.
Oh dear.
Well,
we'll be back to all of our bans. Apologies. Now we're able to get into this game. I'm apologizing on behalf of our observer because that was their mistake. I don't know who it is, but.
It's Medic.
Oh, okay. I was not going to say the name.
It's
but
Medic Casts that did it. Not yeah. We got a new observer here today. Yes. Oh no, production just did in there.
Production just threw him in. I tried to save it. I was going to be a bit subtle about it. I wasn't going to throw our wonderful observers because they make mistakes from time to time. Everybody does, but
so do we.
There's sometimes a bit more obvious because we have to restart everything. Than ours.
Yeah.
We just missay words.
Just talk over it.
Yeah. And then production just exposed Medics.
Oh, he just said it was no problem if we expose him, so.
He likes any press is good press. Starting here. Now we find, I guess, a slightly different approach to a Chalet you would hope from the side of Pwns, both as a Pwns fan, as somebody maybe against them, to see something a little bit new. Obviously the team, well, they might be under a quick bout of pressure here. There's that combination. Iana and Finka swinging in for the fight round on the prep side. Exodus might meet a maker very soon. Kendrew has the ping, and Keenan has the fight, gets the first. Sleben inside the box right round on the opposite side. They get a very quick pinch. You can see WTG and Scyther are eyeing up the idea of pushing down, but realize it would be a little bit of a barrel that they would fill with fish.
Now, the first entry is there. The castle has been taken out. Luckily, Delphi Pwns is not one of those active gadgets that need to be used. As long as all the castle barricades have been placed, though. I'm trying to figure out where that is. I mean, do see one onto the balcony door. The rest can find that quickly, so could just as well be that there was still some in pocket. But hey, secret. Good start to the round here. Drones being set up still. They are working on their preparative work. Slowly but steadily, they are starting to head towards that side, with the LMGs pointing in first. It's a soft wall they figured out. Easily breachable, actually, with the Zofia, so not too much of a worry, I'd say.
Now, Secret. They're playing a game where they're off the back of a couple of wins against surprising opponents, and the strange thing is, this is the first time they haven't been the underdog, technically, in a game itself. Pwns, unfortunately, on the other side of a swing. Only really the one win to their name. Outside of that, it's been a couple of closer games and a couple that aren't here. The approach round onto the balcony itself, they're getting box cracked. They're going to have some attention paid underneath. Keenan's just going to keep a bit of a keen eye, so if anyone does go for a rotation and try and strike back, he can hit them harder. They have at least one loose player that's around the kitchen side, WTG, but Emission is able to take the head off of saves. As I've said, the top-rated player inside, EUL, as at the start of today. Keenan with a bit of a wide spray, but it doesn't quite get the connection that he wants.
Yeah, it did spot out the player there. However, the drone was spotted at the same time as well. So the fallback comes through as the drone gets taken out. And now, you know, there's always that worry still. There could be someone on the bottom floor. But it seems like Secret is still willing to go on with the execute here. They need to push through that first part. Get right behind the half wall. That's exactly what they need to potentially get a plan down. It is the most difficult as well, but Emission gets yet another kill.
I mean, that is the thing that he keeps doing here on that back line, playing behind the chassis, popping his head up and popping other heads down. The recollection of the kit. They do not have a smooth entrance, but there's a fight over Piano. Savage has slunked his way in, is able to find one, can't get the stretch onto the second. Emission is down, though, on the back line. There it is. Nico goes for a bit of a retake here. Aggressive swing round, but as the kit gets planted, the 3 versus 1, Sleben is the only man left, eyes down on the ground. They can go for the recollection. It's 3 seconds, and it's just a little bit of a missed fight. There's one. It's a technical 1 versus 1. They're going to go get the player up. That is the right decision at this time. Force yourself into the 2 versus 1. You have 30 seconds. You have plenty of time to try and get this fight. Sleben, what intel does he have? I'm not sure, but I know he has 2 uncooked grenades at least in his pocket, ready to try and long arm and throw. They're going for the split push. One onto the box. It's a steady try and acclamation there, baiting the sound and the audio. They know they're not holding it. 16 seconds. He wants to force this. A 1 versus 1 comes together. It's there, sprayed over the top, just has to hide. They can't get him, and super power player Sleben wins the first round.
Good stuff from him in there. He was being peeked by the first swing onto the double door, got that kill, instantly fell back, saw a mission not being on that diffuser, and you know what that means? With 9 seconds left on the clock, he can just go back into cover, doesn't have to take that fight. You might re-peek as soon as the 7-second mark is gone, because then you have the opportunity to freely go for the kill. There wouldn't be an opportunity for them to diffuse anymore. So well played for them there. Good decision being made by Sleben in the end. And while Secret, they did have a bit of trouble initially with Emission being able to pick up 2 of those early kills, stopping their plans before it even could get started. The dig in from the balcony player, finding Piano, then trying to push in even further Savage, that was crucial because that allowed them to eventually get in.
It was almost a moment biting back there. Obviously, there was a little bit of a lack of an idea of where Sleben had gone, where that player was sort of positioned, and where the kit was getting planted. He had to make that decision at the point. Whether they knew Emission was down or not, or picked back up, either way, he's looking at least a 2 versus 1 to sort of be able to get in, get the kit down, and most importantly, get out as well. As the C4 pops, they know at that point where you're going to be because they have the clarity of the other side itself, and there's only really one place to be. Getting the fight on the way out the door, massively important here. Secret, they take the first. It was closer, especially after that early pick was theirs, but here's the chance for a bit of growth. If they can get 2 and find Kitchen, they might start getting a bit of pace and momentum.
If I could. A friendly drone there. I thought for a second, I was like, is there a Muzzy on the board? But no, not the case. Entrenched, just waiting, checking if there was anybody there. Key on D pops will find 1 player, but no real reply being given to it as of yet. Saves being below will, of course, be opening up onto those Solarium stairs to potentially get in a grenade from below, stopping any player that is currently on those staircases from truly being able to move out, especially if there is double window pressure coming out from Kendrew here.
Sleben looking for the hole in the angle. They're trying to find any player that might be on the top. They've actually handed over a lot of this territory quite quick, pulled themselves back as soon as they read how much pressure was coming over there from the bow of that Solarium side, from the double window. They said, well, let's keep ourselves alive. We can push time. They almost did it on the previous round, and obviously we can talk about how much data there might exist about Pwns on this map, but Secret also played it quite recently. They will have some wherewithal and some time to be able to try and thread something together here over the couple of days. Savage, he's looking for the fight here towards the side of the library, just cutting across the top with the E1D from before, but still nothing handed to him.
Like the actual push that Secret is going for here. Normally we see it go through the library, then you kind of struggle opening up both those walls, still not really having that top floor under control to stop anybody from denying you if you want to go for a B-bomb site plant. Now, Secret is going for the opposite of it. They have Solarium, they have that top floor directly above this site. Of course, no one currently in there yet, but it is free to be taken. But that does mean they need to go for an alternative take here, and that will most likely be through Trophy and through that drop of the kitchen hatch that they would like to go for a plant. It's a bit more dangerous to some extent, but you do not have to worry about verticality as much, just really about the player that is right behind the dining table.
Less than a minute left, and Kendrew started to stack himself up towards the opening of the site itself. The chance of the plant behind the chassis as Sleben takes the head off of Emission over the long fight and fire. They have the E1Ds to pop too. This could be a big rotate from Exodus up those close stairs. He's waiting and holding the angle as Scyther swings for 2. They're still going to get the kit down, but massive impact kills there. They at least keep the balance with Keenan finding Nico. Exodus might still be in a striking distance and a range as the pings come through. There it is, the rotate round onto the door. They know maybe where Kendrew is. He's lying down, hoping the fight comes his way. They've got to win the vertical. If not, drive this. A close fight, and it goes into Kendrew's way. He's looking for the next. There on the door. He might not know just where. Malusi's gone, but they just missed the tail of the fleeing player. The flashes come round. He's tucked in on the corner. A bit of movement, and WTG wins that important fight up top. It's scrappy, but it is Pwns that just get that kid in time.
Just in time, 2 seconds to spare, or this would have been another team's secret round. And I told you it was going to be a bit dangerous. They should have had that verticality under control, and losing those 2 players in trophy by a single man, not ideal, we have to say. Keenan, unfortunately, unable to challenge any longer onto that top floor, really allowing to buy that extra time necessary. If he wouldn't have been caught off as soon as he wanted to run towards that hatch, that could have been a completely different round. So some slight mistakes being made here that were basically being made by the other side in the previous round is allowing Pwns to pull through throughout the end here and truly clutch it in those last couple of seconds with like 10 seconds on the clock starting that defuse. So 3 to spare. Now, bar gaming coming up, and as you might wonder, can these teams still make it to Berlin? Yes, to some extent. But they both need a win, and even that might not be enough for Pwns.
I mean, no, it's they both need a win, and that won't be enough.
Well, I mean, it won't be enough for Pwns, most likely. It could be enough for Secret.
No, because they still need other results to happen. At 2%, it's not just about them.
Don't blow all the hope, all right?
I'm not, because there's a more interesting conversation about this, which is relegation.
Of course. It is always on the board, and that is always something that is going on. And realistically speaking, neither of these 2 teams will be making it to Berlin. We have to be that honest with it. And if I quickly pull up the overall stats of EU, because that is what we've been doing for APAC as well, as their penultimate Playday has gone through. Secret is actually starting to gain some points. For a second there, I was afraid it might be a quick one. Pwns currently in 10th place, Secret in 9th. 5 points in between them, though. Secret having the advantage. So if Secret win this in regulation, that suddenly becomes 8 points of difference. And that might be very difficult to get in the last stage.
Well, the flashes start to come through, the blinds on the player. There is a bit of a catch, but not onto the player. That's the most important part, that they force the ground. And to be honest, you know, it's just a matter of having the positioning and trying to find the engagement. Another burn there.
Now it's the Magnet that blew it up.
Yep.
Not going to be able to deploy that one, but still has, of course, 2 extra, so 1 fired. Not sure if there is an extra one in pocket for Caesar, if it used already. Pantry is looking to be opened up, though, but with Emission being... Oh, the grenade coming through, but it rolls too far. Actually does a little bit of damage towards Emission, but takes out the remaining X-Kairos. So they're going to try that again, but they're definitely worried now about the IDs that are out there, so might not actually want to go for an exact same play. Sleben, though, in the mode room, might be able to find some feet very soon. Just holding there, watching this one line of sight. It's currently not being utilized by either player of Pwns, but they're prone underneath it.
Well, this is something Pwns did on the previous round where they pulled themselves back. They made sure the engagements happened late. They know Secret can be terrifying gunners. Exodus is obviously in a power position, but you can start to see now Nico swinging himself a bit closer at the minute mark, but there is somebody behind him. Emission, though, finds that person, finds Sleben. Nico finds Savage. Suddenly, Pwns have been able to thread a couple of kills. Why not one more? Keenan gets one. But after everything has already started to slightly fall apart for them, they've driven themselves in. The kid's cold in the middle of the room. Just about 50 seconds left. WTG's holding the angle, not too aggressively. Sees a sliver, but can't get the full connection. Keenan already on half health. Lucky to get out of it. They know where one of those loose players is. But again, look at this. Pwns, they sort of make a statement and then pull themselves back. They keep Secret struggling with time.
They keep them indeed on their toes here. Pings are coming through, but I believe that's a reinforcement still there. I thought they might have reinforced that. Valkyrie comes out, though, so they know exactly where these attackers might be. They're staying put, they're not moving too much. And again, by the way, the X-Scar not popping onto that reinforced wall, so they've been able to take them out again without Secret being able to punish a player for it. Twice now in one round. And 10 seconds left now. They need to start pushing.
Mission swung around. They had the intel, and they knew how to act on it. Very, very quick turnaround there from Pwns, from the energy of the first round being so close to ensuring that they can play against the expectations here of Secret. Starting to look a little bit sharp here. They've taken the 2 defenses that a lot of teams can muster onto Chalet. They put a 3rd on the board, and suddenly we might be seeing a little bit of a spicier story here.
Was it 4 times the charm? Was that the saying that we're going for here today?
Could be. I don't know what it is in Russian. I
don't know either. I know in Dutch it is 3 malen scheepsrecht, which literally translates to 3 times is...
3 times is good.
Like something with a ship. Dutch.
What? Know. Why is everything about ships with Dutch?
Because we're underwater most of the time.
Oh no.
All right, well, 2-1 Pwns are now headed up towards the ground floor. The basement, the wine cellar. And we have the Whining Hatch now, new name coming through.
New name, Whining Hatch.
Yeah, between dining and wine.
Put a picture of Tim's face on it.
Reinforced. Is that going to be...
Do you think he wants that to be his legacy?
I don't know, but definitely will be part of it at this point. Tim, let us know. Is this okay?
It'll only become his legacy if Dez starts to push it as hard as he pushes things like laser gates and other things he wants to put onto merchandise.
I don't think he's had the opportunity yet to cash Chalet with Tim ever since we have called it a Whining Hatch.
If they play Chalet today, I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. I'm going to be listening to that one.
Kendry. Ooh, he's looking for the fight, but once again, a mission isn't going to play no game. Pulls himself back. We saw Wamai as that early lead-off on the previous round as well, and he made sure that there was more than enough utility for him. The survival of... It's not urgent, but it can be quite poignant as a round develops. The longer you're on, the longer you can cause problems with more and more gadgets coming into your pockets. Here, again, once again, Pwns. They're sort of stacking themselves up, sort of creating the potential of engagement, but also not handing anything. They suffered that at the very beginning of round 1, and since then, seemingly learned a lesson.
Saito waiting around the corner. There is some Valkyrie cameras around. It's just wondering what they do see. Saito gave his position away, though. Went for a bit of a pre-fire. Doesn't have the exact information, but at least will let them know, like, hey, I'm here. It's a punch as well as bidding in some shots from the air exit and Nomad, but for now, just playing around with his food here. Secret not really able to punish him just yet, but they are starting to get some control up on that top floor. Eventually not the site, though, so will it matter too much? Not really, but wanting to get that roamer out of the way is a big task.
The flashes come through now. They've got the control of West Main. There's still a lot of utility, but now there isn't. The claw was underneath, whether they had a second one to throw or not. No, it's on the hatch itself, so Kendry's going to get the breach open where he can try and go for a plant. The hatch is locked and solid. That means they cannot be bidden from above. If they try and get this kick down, it's going to come to long-arming utility, seeing if they can get it wrapped around the corner and that core of it. There's 3 C4s. They have plenty, but a quick rotation round onto the back here gives the mission a bit of a drive. They have full focus and a minute, a catch ready for any of this that might try and come through.
I think they've actually opened the hatch as the attackers here because I saw the Hibana playing around there, and Saito and Exodus is looking to go for a retake there, and Impact gets tossed in. If this is opened up, that could be absolutely huge.
Wow, the kit is being planted. They don't have the lock-in. Saves is playing there to cause some trouble. The C4, bit too wide. A post-plant. All 10 players on the board. 40 seconds. Nico finds the man, but a little bit too late. Sleben finds one back, but Nico slaps them. Starts to drive himself back into this game. Exodus is trying to hunt over the top. Does he know where Saves is? Savage drops down from the top rope. Doesn't quite get the full fight, though, and it's just into the favor of Secret. A 3 versus 2, though. They have eyes on the kit. They have a closed hatch. They have no way to stop this going round. He's just swung it. Will he hold on in time? He can't get it! And that is a lesson in hatch control.
Can I ask a question, Emmy?
Yeah.
Why do you have 2 attackers up on the top floor if you do not open up that hatch? I was going to say, okay, the Hibana's there. They could take out the electric plant. They can open the hatch if they want to hold it from there. But instead, you have 2 people. Saves all the way on the top floor. You have Hibana sitting in...
Positioning from the control of dining, you can either see if they come into dining or if they come down the stairs of the top floor. You have that. So you have 2 players in that situation,
which neither of them was watching the actual... could have done that from above. You could open it up, hold the main stairs from there on, at least do some damage, have some extra person.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to give a little.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, if that was what they were going at, there could have been better ways to go through it. So I'm a bit, I think baffled is the right word.
Like, no. Ah.
It's, I don't know. I mean, they surely had an idea with it. Just doubt if it was the right one. But, you know, I'm just the caster. What do I know at the end of the day? Surely the analysts will go back into that with a bigger brain. Pwns, 3-1 though. And that is the crucial thing here, because what we just said, 5 points between themselves and Secret in the relegation fight. Secret starting to make some strides here in EU. You know, they have that bigger opportunity of making it to Berlin, which is still relative 0. But they're starting to lose a very important matchup here. One that is probably most important of the last 3 games they've played, because this can literally double their points towards Pwns in a relegation fight.
Yes, they don't have the buff of being underneath the other team. That's the problem right now. And Secret, I think, have got, not in their own head, but Pwns, when you have nothing to play for, everything is for the win. You can throw everything into it. They know they've been smacked around recently. They know that they're not seen with the same expectations that a lot of other teams are by teams in this league. We see it on socials, we see it in the play, and they're making a response here. All that tension, all that heat, all that aggression is starting to show in gameplay. Now, with the first off the board, Sleben found the man who clutched out the last time they were on this site, the last time they won a round. It wasn't even this site, it was the site above. Exodus was able to get an early pick. WTG took a gamble, a fight with a grenade, and at least clips the wing, but doesn't quite get the full swing.
Might actually think that they have rotated up to the top floor now, so with Exodus still being... Oh, never mind, he's just there. I was going to say, with him still being around, it could be an opportunity for him to strike late, but he tried to rotate as well, got picked up as a result, and that leaves just 2 roamers around on that top floor. We're trying to fall back towards a bit more safe ground. The direct verticality above the actual site that we're fighting over, and this time Secret going for a more traditional take. It seems like they're clearing from library. It seems like they will be opening up the soft walls above to stop any verticality that could maybe hinder Kendrew and his ability to plant. The worry, though, is these shields and Emission. Emission on that shield behind it has a 1.5 on that MPX. It's going to be able to snipe some heads, and look at that. That is a Warden that can see through smoke.
Oh, he is looking to cause some dramas and problems. Emission obviously played this site before as a Warden, or played the other story, and was able to do some damage and destruction even without being a direct counter for their approach. Now he's waiting to see if Kendrew decides to slip his way through. A bit of a scratch either side. It's Scyther. Takes a bit of damage on the split. Keenan wants to try and put some pressure here, flat against it. Hope to catch somebody by surprise, but nobody is quite caught. Emission's tucked in a corner with a shield for protection. Scyther finds the fight onto Savage. Maybe didn't expect 3 players inside Trophy, but Kendrew tried to drive into sight and got slapped back out by Emission. WTG finds one more. 8 seconds. Saves. Wow, it looks like we're going to find ourselves a 4-1 no time. And Pwns get another round.
As soon as that diffuser got dropped there, that round was going to be over. Emmy, there was no way they could work on that diffuser. The remaining players still way too spread out. So unless you got a lucky wallbang on 2 of them and you managed to find a fight on the 3rd, that was never going to be happening there. And that's a 4-1 on the board. Pwns truly stepping up here on a map which should be attack-sided. Doesn't really seem to be the case right now. Let me just quickly pull up what the latest percentages are in the EUL for Chalet. That is, let me see, 55% win rate actually for defense. Oh, it's starting to get back there. 50% Master, 59% Bar, 64% Wine Cellar Snow. Do you remember the days when Wine Cellar was the worst side?
Well, I remember the days before that when it was one of the best sites.
Yes, and then when it got reintroduced.
And then it got reintroduced and it was one of the worst sites.
And now it's the best again. 64.
But I think that's the thing, is the new hyper-aggressive meta is one where it actually having some solid walls.
It does help.
It does. It forces, in a way, it forces gameplay to be slowed at least. Otherwise, usually you're just going to get slapped off the face of the earth. Pwns, 4-1. They aren't really looking like they're slowing down. In fact, the opposite, straight after the secret attack timeout here, and you're looking at 3 plants, 2 of them diffused on the sides of Secret's attack.
It's actually funny to see the comparison to NA on this map. 33% win rate for defense on NA. It's almost twice that for EU. That is insane. How big the disparity is between the two. How will that shape up against each other? We'll only find out in Berlin, as it might get played. But yeah, still got this game on our hands here between Pwns, who's currently looking like they might want to pick up some cheeky 3 points here against Secret and make sure the difference is only going to be 2 for stage 3 between themselves for now the relegation spot or not.
Well, the grenade tucks its way around towards the bedside. Scyther now, after it was droned out by Kendrew, is able to just swing around, puts himself in ADS, and that's always that little irritating moment, I think. Your information is only as hot as when you're looking at it. Within 10 seconds, assume pretty much a lot of it's changed. Emision hasn't, though. Finds the head of Savage, finds yet again another first kill into the round, 9-2. And ban my smoke and see what happens. Keenan throws himself in, the breach comes through. They were trying to bait and blade it, and it did come together as a rotation that might happen underneath the Solarium stairs itself. You can see WTG is creeping around that area, that corridor. He can hold off for now. Saves, I think, might be the problem cause for that, as Secret try and creep closer and closer towards the site. Here's the fight. Saves. Just going to hold the pixel.
If he decides to open up this wall with a skeleton key, Savage gets a run-out kill on Exodus. That brings it back slightly towards Secret. And Nitro will do the other way, though. But I do know WTG's around here, though. I'm not quite sure why Save's not trying to respond. The mission will find Slebit on the other side as well. And again, no response coming through from one of those kills to come in. Kendra is finding himself alone near Piano. He's going to start to come through. However, that Banshee will give away his position. So he needs to be very careful here as Saves comes in to help.
Wow, he's acting now on the site itself. But as you said, didn't go for the fight onto WTG. There's a little bit of revenge later. Now a technical 1 versus 1. Kendry's going to try and stick the plant. Saves. He's holding off the angle. Emision with a slow creep round. Does he know one's close on that corner? Well, he's going to find out sooner rather than later. There it is. Finds the take. Finds the triple kill. Doesn't quite find the immediate swing round and response. Kendrew, he's got himself quite aggressive here. So look, the rotation, the change of angle from Emision. Does he know? He's going to find out. Oh, there it is! Emision with the quad! And he is taking over 5-1 for Pwns.
12-on-2, Emision currently on the scoreboard there. And what a clutch that was, a quad kill for him, but he just keeps them in this game. He just allows them to continue on fighting, and maybe a bit of tunnel vision from the last attacker left, because he was just looking at that one doorway, not realizing there was one on Piano as well, on the slow creep, getting 2 victims there. Just a buck as the Hibana puts Pwns 5-1, 2 rounds away from locking this off very early on the day.
Well, he doesn't want to lose that top-rated EUL player spot, does he?
He's definitely not. I believe that's before this round, by the way. 177 EPS. Just look at it. He just slow creeped in.
There's a lesson.
Look at that. Sage just looked away as well at the very moment Emision peaked.
Well, I think there's a lesson there about lean direction as well. I know it's something that's been talked about, of like how you lean actually puts the elbows out first rather than the gun. You know, it's always just, it's knowledge of the models, and it's tough to do in the situation, but
I mean, he already didn't crouch.
It's also, yeah, it's the crouch walk, and it's Emision, 12-2 in a game right now where it's not that we haven't seen Secret players get kills. We've seen them in the half. They got 4 plants out of 6 rounds, and they lost 3 of them.
Yeah, they definitely didn't, you know, fail at playing the objective. They just failed at defending the objective at the end of it. So Secret unable to make these post plants stick, and that's truly going to be hurting. But I mean, if we look at it objectively, they've made so many mistakes in their post plants, let alone the 2 players that were up above in the actual kitchen, rather than that Slevin with the very first kill. Exodus, he goes looking to follow that one up. He's waiting patiently here until the MK14 stops firing and allows him to start moving through.
That's it. They don't need to double check it. They're going to use a bit of utility to try and swing around. And actually, almost as the call from the fight on the other side, Slevin's got the angle and got a lot of Nico with that, the heavy-hitting rifle can act. WTG is watching the rotate on the backside, just sees the sliver, the change of pixel, and they get their revenge. A lot of damage, a little bit of utility, but they've only really lost Exodus in the hands of the Finker in terms of what you're going to bring to the fight. When you've also got the Iana and then a sledge, you've still got at least a lot of the pockets, just a missing LMG. You've taken out a heavy-hitting rifle, you've taken out Sleben. What can you do next? Nico's got the drive round over to the side. A very quick attention is paid towards the rest of the top floor. They're going to see if they can try and get box open.
Need to get rid of that electric claw first now, and the question is going to be how we're going to do this, because it could be hidden in a spot where it's going to be no, okay, it's just on the beam again, so they can just open up below and then get an angle on it. So it's not going to be too difficult to get rid of it. They just need to get into a position to do so, and that is below. That's what they're currently working on here, taking out some utility through the table, it seems.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's the Banshee gone. Now they're going to see if they can try and just double check underneath the mirror window. They know they have the angles and a little bit of danger. It's always something you have to be cautious of on the rotate. And Emission is paying that caution with a grenade. Maybe to the face. They pull back. They actually move away. Saves isn't going to try and dabble with this fight. And it seems like they had some awareness as Emission actually pulls the grenade. Gets underneath Kendrew. Does a lot of damage. Not quite enough to fully knock them out of it. They were thankfully hopped up. And they're hoping somebody's moved behind the mirror window. But no, they've otherwise pulled themselves back. Saves playing a little bit more of a safety approach as we look. 30 seconds left of this round.
It's getting a bit anxious there because of that grenade being in hand for so long. Now, one of the serial laser gates is being spotted out. Cannot get that grenade quite through before they get any other piece of utility to do so with. Keenan looking to go aggressive here with the AUG. He's going to be able to find anybody actually there. Tons of gates are being wasted though. Seems like they want to push in.
Saves finds Emission, Savage finds WTG, 2 stories, and now they've just got to see if they can try and put the full stop onto this. One more for Saves. Back up the other side of the stairs, leaving just Nico out, but not for very long. Saves with a triple kill.
Doorframe being hit there by the last attacker rather than the actual player. Bullets not penetrating through enough. With that, round 8 soon to be underway. And then you're asking, where did it fall apart for Pwns in their attack? Well, there's a couple of things to look at. Of course, they lost their Finka early on. It is some utility. It's not the end of the world, as you said. You do lose the heals. That was the most precious part of things. You did still have 4 grenades left. You still had a gun 6 left. It was enough to deal with the utility that was on the board. But you lose that extra gun. I think that might be the most important part there. Also, they failed to deal with the Electroclaw, which could have been taken out from below, but maybe not having the right utility to deal with it, not having the information on where the Electroclaw was exactly placed at that given time. And, you know, if you cannot open up the entire floor from below with just a sledge, decided to go for a straight push through, which normally doesn't work, and this time again did not work. So they might need to work a little bit better onto clearing that utility, onto actually working on their setup.
The last time Secret won a round, it was the opening round of the whole game. This time, the opening round of their defense. If they can break the mold right now, they might be able to at least try and harness some momentum. I'm not going to say all. It's down to Pwns to wake up. They obviously still have their attack timeout. Secret only have the game at hand, the game ahead of them. And, well, I mean, when you're on the 5-1, 5-2 situation, every round is vital, but threading 2 before you're on that death knell is probably the most vital. How many can you get before you might find yourself eyeing up the barrel of a 6-2-2?
Good timing right here. Second EMP potentially to come out. No, not the case. Kendrew's also not trying to trick it. Keenan with the entry, though, will find Exodus. Second time in a row that Secret is going to be able to open off their defensive round with a kill that is not going to be contested at all by any of the other Pwns members. That is something they need to change as well. You cannot just let them get these free kills without any reply being there. Sleben is quite close to the window. A reply could come soon, but it seems like he's just digging in closely. Oh, that's a free kill.
Hold and tucked. I'm not quite sure how the fight with Keenan went, but as it was the Habana, I assume they were trying to drive themselves, hoping that the hatch was closed. Proved otherwise. Now, suddenly, Pwns, 2 bodies short, and only a minute gone. They've still got a lot of work left to do. They've got the snowmobile breach open, and now they're going to see if they can try and pay attention across the bow of Dining itself. One player's tucked around on the back. Onto the corner, there's always the danger of swinging, and... oh, a rotate! Saves, almost entirely caught out. There's the next emission. He's able to get the person who went for help. Another player is about to try and get the revive. Savage actually changes his mind, thinks better of it. Save's gonna crawl to him.
I mean, he has the opportunity to, right? I mean, just get past that door and you have an opportunity to be picked up safely. That's exactly what happens. His life will be saved for now, and we're in an effective 3-on-4 situation. Luckily, there's Thunderbird on the board, so Save is going to be able to get himself back up to nearly full HP here, able to just get into that fight again. Just not actually with the opportunity to get DBNO'd, which means that any single kill shot will eventually take him out.
Well, Nico's doing some work above, a minute left, and they've been able to do some damage to the players that are outside. But otherwise, you're still looking at locked hatches. The lack of the Hibana and WTG means that anything that they've got is all that they've got, and it might come to a little bit of an aggressive fight through. Will they get a lucky pick on the way around the door? Well, it's a potential, but a potential is dangerous. Just pulls away from the breach, one tucked close. If they're not aware of Sleben, he can swing around and do what he did before, which was massively dangerous. They're hoping and holding and kind of hanging out hope. Oh, it's a close plant, and that should be an easy pickup. No, Scyther comes off. Kendrew at least finds Cypher. A cold kit, 20 seconds. Nico still out the electrified door. Emission looking for the take, finds the head of Kendrew, finds the kit, gonna hold it. Nico, everything's on you right now. Just needs this sprayed fire towards blue. Stop it, can't quite get it. Locked in, saves with the rotate.
In time, coming through the connector here to find the diffuser before the LMG's up and running again, because that's when it starts to get tricky once those 150 bullets, or 100 on that particular gun, are starting to come your way. And 5-3 the scoreline. Secret is starting to fight back here onto their defense themselves, but a post planned. But two people being picked up after they started to rotate, and that might have been almost a giveaway of that round. You had a double entry. You might have wanted to go for more. You started to rotate people up to that top floor. That's actually how you lost one, almost two, as a result of it. And that is something you need to prevent. Now, back we go towards the kitchen and the dining. The hatch gets opened up, the winding hatch. It's not going to be off too much impact right now. Might still function as a C4 hatch. You just toss it through right behind the dining table. Make sure that anybody planting there is going to be picked up. If there is an Oryx on the board, which is not the case now, it could also be used as a rotation back, so that is things to keep in mind. And it can also be used as an escape route for defenders or attackers alike as soon as the diffuser goes down. That's why they open up that hatch. It's not really anything that will be contested too much by the attackers because, well, the only true thing they need to be careful of is that C4 flying through.
Sleben builds himself a little sense of security and safety on that, the bottom of the solarium stairs. And it seems like Pwns are making their approach from the opposite side anyway. Now, I talked about it before. They've suffered a little bit on this opener. It was the thinker off the board, but we've just seen the power of them if they're able to get a little bit deeper into the round. So Exodus, if they can find a little bit of depth onto this, maybe it can be a bit of a lean-in. They haven't quite been able to have the same impact that they had during their CL tenure. But here, if there's a time to start, it's now. A steady approach round towards the side itself, hoping to get an early strike, potentially onto Savage. They're going to try and get some clarity, some potential, but no, not quite confident enough, so heads up to the top floor.
As we continue, Emission, the man who's currently leading the charge here for Pwns, might have not had the best start towards this half, towards the attacking half. Before we went into that, he was on a 216 EPS. That is something we've never seen before. But it's definitely going to be falling right now as he's starting to rack up some deaths and not as many kills as he had before. He was 12-2 when this half started. It's 14-4 now, so 2-2 in this half. And that is something that we would like to see different if Pwns wants to find success. EMP gets used to get rid of the serial laser gate temporarily. He's not going to be destroying it, but also takes care of any potential ADSs out there, just so they can nade them off for later use.
That was it. They were hoping somebody was holding that aggressive and waiting for something to be destroyed.
That's unfortunate.
That is poor timing there, and now they've had a couple of grenades costed for no real gain. That next one should get that bulletproof, and does. They know they can try and force and fight their way across the top. They're hoping to isolate a player, but they're stuck and locked in. Savage finds one. This grenade Doesn't find the next. They tuck themselves just out in time. They have the cover and support of Sleben on this. The bathroom door saves his swing and a fight of his own. There it is. It's scrappy, but it's Kendra and Sleben that are able to finally make those connections. WTG finds one on his way through, and with 50 seconds left and still a lot of control into their favor, well, Kendra is the danger, but everyone else has left, and they know he's there. Kinda.
The pre-fire attempt was there, just not hitting any of the shots eventually, and that leads us in this 1v4 situation. Saiter already got tagged up twice. He's trying to find his very first kill here in this round, not able to get that, so decides to just rotate down into the basement. Now, there's two things that can happen here. With the diffuser being dropped, he can either use this as a bit of a timeout for the rest of his team to talk, or he can try and clutch this up. 20 seconds and him going quite aggressive towards the main stairs here. It's Savage that will pick him up, and Secret that will win another round. And suddenly, we have ourselves a game again. Suddenly, where it looked like Pwns might be able to pick up a full 3 points, or really 6 if you look at the head-to-head, is starting to get a bit more even. And Secret is getting back into it a little bit. Pwns not having the right information, the right utility to deal with the issues at hand, and if they try and pull that trigger, they just got completely abolished in that last round. So it became a 2v5. Turned back into a 1v4. It's not really too impressive of a combat for Pwns in that round. And as I said before, Emission not really having the same impact during this half as he had on the defense. And that is something we know from other players, but normally the other way around. They have a good impact on the attack, but then they struggle on the defense. Spoit is an example. Although in this last game he played, he was doing quite well into that defense, so that might start to shift. But Emission really needs to get alive, and like, as soon as he does get alive here, he's going to be able to potentially carry them on. And I know it's 14 kills.
I think this is the thing, though, that you have to take into consideration.
The rest also
he's already 14 to 5. For us to say he needs to step up to carry.
No, okay, yes.
It's too big of a statement, I think.
I know, and I'm saying
he's not the problem.
He's currently 14 kills, but it's like the carrying force that Pwns had is no longer there. So either he needs to step up again, or someone else needs to pick up that role.
I mean, there just needs to be more stepping up from Pwns on a frag level.
Let's get 2 or 3 people to step up instead.
It would be that, because there's something on the other half, is even though Pwns had such a good lead, there was multiple players of Secret who were putting people in the dirt, who are fighting those games. Here, only having one tip of a spear when you're trying to play this game, which allows a lot of space for, I guess, confident, creative gunners and roamers, that's what Secret's able to build behind. And you just need a second person to lead in. Talking of, Savage might be the first fight and the first foray. Here, a bit of pressure from the small little entrance route, cutting off his rotation. Keenan could have offered some support, but they don't quite have the confidence. A grenade rolled under the drone hole. Doesn't get him either. 2 grenades now thrown towards Savage. He's still able to sit there confidently. This drone's going to get the reveal. Are they going to go for the swing and the pre-fire? You can see the Sophia's going for the width as well. Keenan's going to try and rotate and find the fight with the Sophia. It's multifaceted and nobody is confident enough to burn the play. The Echo drone as well, getting the intel on where the players are going for their approach. Savage with the pre-fire, the pop, the stun. The player still, everybody's waiting to go. There it is. Finally, a fight comes together. They're inside. They can get a little bit aggressive, and Exodus finds his first in a while. Keenan doesn't get the revenge that he wanted, and Pwns, for the first time on their attacks, have that opening kill. Now's a second. Sleben off the board. We wanted a little bit more, and Exodus has started to show up. Saves at least, gets one off in revenge, but still, this is something Pwns can build behind.
I was going to say, maybe at that point it was better for Secret to just cut their losses, leave Savage to be alive there as that only man, and just fall back towards the side, because Exodus now finding saves as well, starting to head towards the side. The pressure is rising up, but Exodus on that Finka here still has 2 heals and will be using them momentarily here. They cannot quite breach yet because there is still a mute gemmer, so they need to get rid of that one first, but just a quick grenade around the corner might be fixing that issue, or an EMP to come through as well, because that is what just happened, and that means they can go for a plant as we speak. But these yokai drones, or drone, they might be the difference maker here with the 20 seconds left on the clock.
That's it. It's yokais. Kendru's played this role before and won rounds out of it, and Keenan is there stacked up too. That's a cheeky angle. He waits, he baits, he holds on. And he gets the pop there. Keenan finds a kill at the same time. He's going to go for the plant at the same. Hope the EMP catches the drone. It doesn't. It's too short a range. There it is. He's got to move and pull off. It's suddenly a 2 versus 1. They're spraying over the top. It's all for the cover for the ace as well. Can he get the connection? No! It would have been an ace clutch round, but instead it's a Keenan one.
Just moving in there, realizing like he wanted to go for the fight first, the player into the balcony, then realized if he is there, that means I can just walk through that double door, get that kill onto the man that's planting. And yes, a lot of time was wasted, but it was just enough for him to find that connection, find themselves 5-5. And even though Secret, they took this many losses right before the execute happened, it was a 4-2. And managed to make it stick. 14 seconds wasted by the Yokai, and then finally moving in as the clock hits 0, truly putting up that pressure towards Pwns to make sure that their cover is right at that time. They also failed. Something we've seen that happened with Secret when they needed the cover to be there for their plants or post plants. The pressure is rising.
The thing at this moment is, I guess, looking at Pwns, hoping that is some confidence for Exodus. Hoping that's some confidence for another potential big fragger to get involved in this game. So close. Couldn't be closer, but to be fair, how many of their rounds were close retakes on their defense? 3 of them, to be precise, and then they took another 2 without the kit even hitting the floor. It is still a fight. It's still something Pwns are capable of. Secret, they're doing well. They'll know that it was the closest so far, and they might make a couple of tweaks. It came down to the wire, and for the first time in a while for them, came down to a clutch. They're able to finally put some of that back onto their opponents. But a kit hasn't gone down at all. That was the closest they've got to landing it on the ground itself. Here, if we're going to have a second closest clutch, probably this one.
3 players very close here, and of course 2 of them are used to open up, the third one just repelling. So a quick opening mate onto the snowmobile garage is going to be putting up the pressure onto the side of Secret. As they finally decide to go for the execute. They might not actually use it. They just open it for the sake of opening. They can then still use it if they want. They might just go for a complete different kind of rotate. But as long as that is open, the defenders need to pay attention to it. They cannot just walk there freely. This Valkyrie camera here has been spotted out. No C4 kill to come in as a result. Nico does stay on the soft for a very long time there, though. This is definitely giving them the opportunity to use a Nitrocell. But none are currently coming through. With 2 minutes on that clock, Pwns now need to start working toward their actual take. And is that going to be a snowmobile plant, or are they going to go around and try and go for wine? That's the big question, because I cannot tell yet.
A lot of concern for the utility that's being used against you when you bring an IQ. You've obviously got the Valkyrie on the board, the call, and maybe the concern about an Echo drone that might come through once again, but they are not around. Instead, it's a focus. They're paying towards the backside, the utility, and the approach. There's a camera up in the beams that hasn't been caught by a Mission who's on the far side. They'll get the pings on roughly Exodus's location, but to be honest, he's not being too quiet anyway. You can see they really want to try and lean back into it. A spray back from Keenan sort of says, we're here, and Exodus says, well, so am I still. There's a quick rotation. Around, takes out the procs, and takes himself closer and closer. The default cam will once again get his steps, but with a minute, they've got to start making some more important ones.
I'm not sure if they left the hatch open this time around. I just saw them walk past there. Yes, it has been opened up. So that is something that the attack needs to do with. And look at all the preparation that work that is being done here. The Nitrocell is not going to be able to find anything. If only it's going to be helping the attackers right here as they want to open up as much as they possibly can to stop anybody from trying to rotate back as soon as this plant goes down. Sartre needs to get in a position. I believe that the Thurman of WTG is quite close as well. They want to go for a plant right behind the bins, it seems.
Well, last time we were here, obviously they lost the hard breach so early. This time they have pretty much everything open, but 20 seconds, and we might have ourselves a 10 versus, well, each other. Exodus gets the first. Keenan off the board. The swing round, a heavy retake of the hatch itself. Saves, is able to find Exodus and get the hatch back, but they're planting or attempting to on the opposite side. They're leaning for the fight. Nico can't get the connection. Scyther is going to see if he can stick it around the bins. The kite on the rotate doesn't get it. It's the main stairs. Suddenly it's just a Mission left. 3 seconds. We are on the other side of a sweep. Secret, they're the first to get to 6.
Well, that just fell apart quickly. They had everything set up. So many vertical holes created on that top floor. They had the hatch under control as well, but just with a single player on either side. The flank came in from blue, the flank came in from West Main. Just takes being happen, or fights happening everywhere on the map, and Secret getting the better of them on every single one but one. And they managed to stop that plan from happening. They managed to shut down the attackers on the actual site and managed to win by eliminations. And suddenly, as it looked like Pwns might have been able to take a very easy three-pointer here against Team Secret, with a 5-1 lead into the half, we're finding ourselves at Secret on a match point. 5-6. A complete sweep in the making here. One more round.
It's, you know, it's one of those, Siege is always a game of two halves. It's always a game of two halves. And sometimes, I'm not going to say glaring errors, but things that are going wrong are only apparent on one half or the other. That's just sort of the way the game goes. Sometimes based on the sheer idea of being the attackers or being the defenders, you can be at your strongest and your weakest. There's players that have built careers off of being good enough at one of those halves. Here, sometimes it's just the energy of the day is something that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how well you do on one as soon as you get to the other. Things like this happen. They're still only one round away, and I still believe that they can do that hurdle. They can surmount it. Secret, it's not that they've been untouchable and untenable on this half, but they have looked better and better at certain points. They went from the closest to what was probably one of the furthest away in terms of their control there. They entirely had everything locked. And Pwns now have that tough thing of finding a response of their own.
No, if anything, we cannot call this a throw to those of you watching at home, because there's always those two halves. Secret just currently playing theirs a little bit better, it seems. For now, there is still the opportunity for this to become a 6-6 and us to head to overtime. Quick breach onto that top floor will stop any verticality potentially. I think WTG is going to be looking to get sense their gadget through the drone hole here to stop that line of sight again. But the Bulletproof and Savage are on the other side of things. They will still be a challenge that needs to be surmounted by Pwns if they want to go for the sense execute.
They're getting the control of the verticality. They're making sure that they can at least force the gameplay and force the guns further away from the other side of the dining table, so they don't have that. You don't need an entire bit of control, but you at least need the confidence so they cannot swing their way around, which Secret does love to do, something that Pwns will be well aware of. Here now, as you said, this is the next step. Try and force this wall itself. Savage can play this game. The impact over the top, misses the throw, isn't going to go for the second.
This is the breach that they need to work with. He just fell back as well, feels that it's no longer safe to be out there, and that actually gives opportunity for WTG to use Sense their gadget. Just roll it in, make sure the light screen pops up and stop them from being able to see through, force them to use utility and try and push through themselves instead. So now WTG, absolutely crucial, needs to watch this. He has a very tight angle he can actually watch through, but Keenan on that wall and finds one, sees the thermite but doesn't register it, and Scyther is going to be able to get that plan down.
Oh, the kid is down for the first time this half, but there's that verticality I talked about before. Secret fearless in trying to bite their way through. However, they still need to try and find WTG. He keeps a rolling and a rocking there on the side, throwing gadget after gadget. You've got to take a gamble, and it does not pay off. The spray through, hoping somebody finds a secondary, but it's Sleben to get a mission. They are still a body different saves. Round on the rotate. Nico has that locked down. 20 seconds now, and it's Sleben on the back with Kendrew still above. They've got to try and take the drop if they can isolate one of these players. There it is. Kendrew, he's found his way around. Is he going to try and long arm this? He's holding F and hoping. He has the awareness of the swing. Sleben, he gets a trade out. It is just Sleben, but he doesn't have the time. We're going to OT.
We are going to OT indeed. Both these teams are going to be able to pick up 1 point from this matchup at the very least. And only one of them will find a second. Now, Secret will want it to at least extend their lead to Pwns in the overall leaderboard. But Pwns at the same time, they will be looking to find this to at least get 1 point closer, to hope that stage 3 is going to be their magical turnaround that will push them out of relegations. And the master bedroom and office up next as Secret takes the defense yet again. They might be favored here by the amount of defensive rounds that we have seen so far.
It has been
10-2.
even with the higher statistics of defense success here,
Yes.
it's a statistical anomaly. Here's some statistics. Qualifying probability.
Yeah, it's done for Pwns.
The dream is done for Pwns.
It was already looking like it would be done today.
It was 0.02%.
But it's probably going to be over for Secret today as well.
Yeah, even if they win now, it drops it to a 0.6. Even if they got the regulation win, it was only a 2%, which means that a lot of other factors have to happen.
Yeah.
Even more factors have to happen.
They do now.
But I think even if you're in a situation when, if you're not doing the part of clutching everything that you can within your power, then you're not going to get it. I think it's very rare.
I mean there's a bunch of teams in a way better position to be making it here.
Yeah.
And everything, like all stars in the universe need to align for you to make it that point. So that doesn't happen often. Never, actually. So with Exodus opening up the window quite early on, Pwns looked like they might want to get some quick pace in. However, Savage in this current spot is just going to get, nope, not a free kill. Might actually still get the free kill. Drops onto top of Exodus and finds the first one. He hoped to go for the sledge. Instead found a finger. I guess that's profit.
I mean, that is unfortunate for Exodus at that point. The sheer panic and spray around the MPX. Well, it's a very quick gun, especially from less than a foot away. Terrifying, I'm sure, but still, that kill is on the side there, and Secret, they get an early blow for Pwns. Now have to take this a lot more cautiously. The outside alibi is causing some irritants, thanks Kendrew. They'll be saying as it's thrown on the far side, and will just consistently be pinging the middle of the screen for Pwns.
It's mild annoyance that is difficult to get rid of. You need to dedicate a player to actually go all the way over and get rid of it, wasting tons of seconds. So they might just play with it being there. Savage into the supply line here, hoping to hold on as pressure is starting to arise from above. Nico missing the opportunity to find a clean kill onto Keenan there, and he will fall back, at least for now, as a mission drums through the window and ends him.
Yeah, I was able to quickly respond to that. Now they know that there's the player underneath. They might be able to try and focus down onto Savage, and they do. Saves is another step below that as well. Suddenly, once again, Emission's bid his way back in. They slipped past. I think that was just on our end. They're safe and secure, and well, now they have the intel and the ping, the IQ, calling the cameras that were problems before. Again, no echo, but still, Valkyrie has been a nightmare for both teams throughout this showdown itself. Box is open. Saves his steal on a far roam underneath. Can hit main stairs if he goes unchecked. Emission once again playing his crouch walking game across the balcony, trying to maybe isolate the backside of Kendra and hope they can force him into a closer fight. Sleven's offering some swing support, but it's a spray round in the window. It might hit him sooner rather than later.
Mission back in now. W2G, if he does decide to try push in right behind the half wall, Kendra actually has a good spot here to try and take him out. 35 seconds though, and currently it is quite dangerous for him to just swing out that double door and get that kill. So Pwns, they need to make sure they clear that, but it doesn't seem like they do have any information on it. If you even look at it, only one drone still active on the alive players. They're in now. That can just be a wall bang. Is he going to go for it? He hears the sound. He's trying to go for the wall bang.
Sees the angle. Saves on the rotate. Kendra with the body. The spray comes back through. Saves in the meantime has moved away. He's underneath with an impact. Tries to throw it and does some damage. They've got to go deeper. Tucked in the corner, Sleben. He's now going to swing for the fight. It's the 1 versus 1. He's on the plant. Sleben clutches the round out.
That very first, a beautiful shot long range, then realized, hey, the last member is going to be in the close corner. Let's go for a swing as well. And with that, Team Secret now onto map point. Looking to find the 2 points here. However, they're on the attack now. The perfect opportunity for Pwns to show what they were able to show before as well when Emission was super dominant. Now, to be fair, he managed to get 2 kills that round. He did what he needed to do. Just the rest of the team needed to step up at that given time as well. And as we head towards the kitchen and the dining, Emission again onto that ward and playing the MPX, potentially on a tight angle with a 1.5, is looking to deny anything that comes in from that main lobby. That is going to be something that Secret needs to deal with. They had some time to think about it. They had some time to go through it. Is it going to be verticality? You know, get some more control of the vertical angles. Or is it going to be something else? He just shot a little bit too high here and then saw, I believe that is the shoulder, and just tapping it there. Not wanting to go full auto. It was so close.
He was so close to the plant as well.
Beautiful shot this is. Recoil helping him a little bit there. Well controlled at the right time by Sleben, finding both of those. 7-6, Team Secret. Are they still going to be able to win this one? I mean, they brought it back from a 5-1 to a 5-6 before Pwns was finally able to put their one onto the board. Defense heavily favored so far. 10 rounds, or 11 now, we've seen being won on that side. 2 on the attack. It looks like Pwns might live to fight another round, but they still need to win an attack at some point.
I think that's it, is, you know, they've got to take the round that's ahead of them. They've got to do this off the back of everything we've seen so far. It's tough to surmise, but at this point, you have your defense. This is not assured, but based on statistics, it's better. However, it's been a long while since we've been here. A mission, as I said before, once upon a time with these magical glasses in the hands of the smart man who could see through smokes was pretty effective. It's down to the rest of the players to step in. Saves us some idea and confidence. They have that drone watching the rotation of Exodus, who doesn't have the same confidence yet. Just gets himself seen and pulls himself back, hopes to create some audio that maybe Sleben's heard.
Yeah, possibly.
No.
Doesn't look like it indeed. Bulletproof, we've seen those before in Chalet. Perma-stunning one of the Retiros. Gets shut out now though, so it's not going to be able to do much more than that single EMP dart on that regular drone. It's going to wait until it comes back up and until it can find some information again. See, verticality is what I thought they needed to do to get rid of a Mission and his tight angle that he was playing for. It seems like that's exactly what they're doing now. Opening up the hatch above. 2 players now right behind the dining table. So what they are thinking is going to happen is that it will be a trophy side push. And of course, currently, most of the Secret members are located for that area, which will make it very likely that indeed a plant might come down from that area, right behind the kitchen table, right behind the kitchen counter, I have to say, sorry, and the bomb chassis. So it is logical that the defenders are set up this way. Oh, this could be huge.
Oh, that's it. Saves is prepped. He doesn't quite get the full reveal. Misses the scrappy fight. Tries to chase the man. Scyther, he's under bouts of pressure and somehow finds his way out the door. Saves. Couldn't cement the kill. A little bit of a foot to the side, and that would have been his. But now they've got to see if they can act. And to be fair, we saw them get the kit down quite a lot here. This is one of the slowest Secret has been. Will it pay off? Well, they have 30 seconds to prove it. Kendra goes, drops in, tucked now. Finds his way around to the chassis and the kit. Sleben's going to cause some noise on the far side. Do they know it's being planted? Do they have an awareness? No. The kit goes down. Suddenly they strike Sleben over the top. And it is just Exodus left. He finds one out the way of the door. But 30 seconds, a post plant to find 3 more. They've pulled themselves away. They have the vertical. They have the side itself. Sleben ends the game as he clutched the start. And Secret come back from 1 to 5 down to an 8-6 win.
Well done by Secret in that last round there. And if you might wonder what exactly happened there, well, they showed they were wanting to go from Solarium from the trophy side. And as a result, everybody shifted over towards dining to get behind that table, to get into that hallway. But at the same time, they moved Sleben into a position